I'm gonna get right into it. I don't even know if this story is true or not, but I figured it was worth the discussion anyway. So basically, I don't know if you're familiar with, I'm not familiar with anything with people's relationships, but supposedly Travis Kelce,
Yeah.
yeah. So was that true?
You don't have Twitter no more.
No.
You could read the first tweet I made when I saw that. I'll read it. I'll read it.
Well, can we first confirm whether it was true so we can
It
give
was
context?
false.
Okay. So for the
Okay, you could give context on post a tweet.
So for the viewers out there, supposedly there was a post that went out on social media that said that Nicole, who is Travis Kelce's
I guess not ex.
girlfriend or ex, however you want to categorize at this point, broke up with him because he kept making her pay half for everything in the 5 years that they were dating. So
Funny thing is they broke up before and they got back together.
right.
But this is what I said when I first saw that tweet. This is exactly what I said. Y'all believe any and everything you see on the internet. Grow up. Because this was the source. Like, I was like, where did this come from? Like, do people, like, sometimes when I read stuff, I'm like, do people really sit there instantly and be like, yes, this is true? Like, I get it from your perspective. You probably seen, like, it was on, I'm sure you've seen it from, what, Hot New Hip Hop or something?
No.
Or you just heard of it. And I guess after a while it did go around, but, like, I initially saw this 3-4 days ago. I was like, no. And then, you just keep scrolling. Oh, you know what? That's my other account. I think. No, it was on this account.
Okay. Well, anyway, so the conversation, obviously, they said it was false. First and foremost, with these things, who cares? Like that's the number one thing is that it really doesn't matter. If he did make her pay for half for everything,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know what the issue is.
Yeah. I mean, because he has money, I guess.
So I don't know. It depends. The funny part is I fall on both sides of the argument for this conversation, always with the 50-50 argument thing. And part of it is
Here it is.
because I'll be completely honest. Part of it is because of the money. So I know that there's guys that will literally be poor, will not be poor, but they'll go broke trying to provide for someone else.
Yeah.
And they don't really have the money, but because they're macho men and they want to feel like the man, they're going to pay for everything for the woman.
And they feel like that's like where their value is.
Right.
Is at.
So I get it. Right.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, right? And every guy wants to feel like the man, and they don't want to have to rely on anybody for anything, and you want to just be balling out,
in control.
Yeah, balling out of control, and then you have control over the girl, all that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah. I understand that, but the other half is definitely the principle part of it, where it's like, I think even if you don't need the woman's contribution, that part of it is due to just like the principle. Like I'm not the ATM. Like you ain't just hit a lick and come up.
Yeah, I get that.
Especially when I feel like
that's what, you know how I feel about it though. I mean, for someone who's that rich, right? Like as him, obviously he doesn't have to do that, but it is kind of like a thing where it's like, we even said so like in our own relationship, if you were to make significantly more money than me, then 50-50 doesn't make sense anymore. Because it's like, and I get your argument. It's like, well, you still live there. You still should pay for half the cost. Like, you shouldn't live there if you can't afford it on your own. I get that. But also, I feel like it's like, well, if I do make that much more money, then of course I should, just provide more if I want to. It should be, at the end of the day, it should be if you want to. It shouldn't be a requirement, but it should be if you want to.
It's interesting. I don't know, because it's like such a, for me, it's like because I'm not saying I feel either way, but I'm saying that like, the principal part of it is kind of interesting because it's like, well, what makes you deserving of living in my $20 million house? And I'm not saying about her or anybody specific, but I just mean in a general broad conversation because I don't know what they have going on.
Nobody said that.
No.
But it's like if you're in a relationship, why is that? Like I feel like if you're in a relationship and you have like, if you have like in your mind, oh, this girl shouldn't. Like, who does she think she is to live here, and why are you with her in a relationship with her? Like, I feel like when you're in a relationship, none of that stuff matters. All these rules that society makes, and like all that overthinking about what someone deserves, what they shouldn't have, whatever, should go out the window. If you're in a relationship with them, then you should be in a relationship with them. Like, I always feel like it's so weird when people have things they don't like about a person that they're with, because it's like, then why be with them? Like, I feel like if you should like, I mean, people are human, and there's gonna be some things you're like, that's annoying, that's a little pet peeve. But likes and dislikes, I feel like should be pretty much like across the board, you like at least most things about somebody that you're with. Because I feel like if you're sitting in the back of your mind thinking, oh, why does this girl, who she thinks she is, just live here? Like, she's not my wife yet, nothing. Then why are you with her? Because like it should just be, this is my house. Life is short. Who cares? None of this stuff's gonna matter when we die. It's $20 million house here. You're in a relationship with me. Like the Johnny Depp method. Johnny Depp was so generous. He had all not only
See what I got him.
no, I'm saying like bringing up Johnny Depp, like he didn't care. Money for him was nothing, and maybe it's because he came from no money. I don't know his childhood, but he had like like the 5 penthouses on that top floor, and like 3 of them were for Amber's friends. Like he just let them live there rent free. So it's like some people just don't care about it that way. They don't see it as that. It's like it would just be sitting there wasting if it's not for you anyway. So
right, and for me, I think the argument goes both ways. Because again, I don't feel either way. I don't think that I'm not on the side of making like balling out and spending $100 million on somebody, but I'm also not on the same side as making somebody split 50-50 if you have X amount of money, whatever it is.
because you're making that much more. Like not only is he an NFL player, he's like a top NFL player. He's like pretty known. Probably makes a lot of money, and it's like, especially if she was with you before the fame, it's like, why not? Like she rode with you through it all. Like it's not like she was a gold digger and just got with you after the fact. Like I'm not sure. Were they together before the fame? I'm assuming.
I don't know. But the thing too, which is interesting, and it's like this is where I question like material and love and how that all works. Because the same argument about you're in the relationship with the person, you shouldn't be like, nah, she doesn't deserve the $20 million house, I'm not gonna give it to her, blah blah blah. It does go the opposite way too. It's like almost, I don't want to say entitlement in a way, but like you do low key in a way feel entitled. If somebody's making a certain amount of money, you do have some sort of entitlement to that money.
I don't think people have entitlement. I think some people do, yes. Definitely a lot of women out there feel entitled to their husband's money, of course. But I don't think that's true for every woman. I just think it's almost like, it's not even like, I think, that's where I guess that whole love languages things come in. It's like, I don't think it's entitlement. I think some people just feel like, you love me, and like people look out for those who they love, and it's like, why do I, if I make significantly less, like not even you make $150,000 a year and I make 80. No, he makes millions and she probably doesn't even make 1 million. Like I feel like, it's not like it's an entitlement, but it's almost like, am I gonna let my girl be out here stressing out to try to pay for the lifestyle I also want, because he wants that lifestyle. So it's like, if you're not gonna bring your girl up with you, then you go get a girl that makes that. Like I don't get it. Like, these men go after these girls that don't have money or don't have as much money, and then that's going to be a complaint. Like that doesn't seem like a valid complaint, because you want that $20 million house, so you're going to make her pay for it just because you're her girlfriend. I mean, you're her boyfriend, and you want to move here because it's a lifestyle that matches your salary, but it doesn't match hers. This doesn't make sense.
Now, what happens if he's like, what happens even with his contract? Let's say he's very eclectic, right? He wants to live in a small, like modest house or apartment.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair then or no? Or is it just unfair because the house is $20 million? And I'm distancing myself from them specifically, but just in general.
No, then that would be fair. But it would be stupid. I think it's still kind of stupid, but it would be fair at least, because at least she could afford it. Not like she's breaking her back to afford it.
Okay.
But I mean, from your perspective, like I feel like, I don't know, as a man, like I feel like it is kind of stupid. Like if you're making that much more money, like how I feel about the argument about men paying all the bills. I always argue with girls online about how expecting your man to pay all the bills in 2022 is crazy, unrealistic, and how about I expect somebody who's, and you're technically younger than me, not even technically, you are by a month, expecting you to pay everything when we had the same exact opportunity, making like very similar salaries, same age. Why would I expect you to pay all the bills? That's my argument always. But the argument changes when somebody is a multimillionaire NFL player. For me, it changes. Like it's not even like I said, it's not even a gold digging thing. It's not none of that. But it's almost like common sense in a way. And that's why I feel like those type of conversations should be left alone for when somebody's actually a wife. So when you're making that commitment to somebody to be your wife, then yeah, she could have more of a say. As a girlfriend, no.
Now, for me too, because I think people, well, obviously statistically too, men there's more male millionaires, more male wealthy people in the world than there are women. But I feel like the argument falls on both sides. Like, I don't know. To me, I'm just different. Like, I'm not saying that I would make anyone split 50-50 if I had his level of money or just any level of wealth. But it is interesting because at the same time, I wouldn't want that if I was with somebody that was rich or wealthy. Like, something about that is off-putting to me. I don't know if that's the male ego thing about not wanting a woman to provide for me, or if it's just how I am in general, because I don't want anything from anyone. So I don't know which way it is, but it's something about that seems like, and not that anybody's wrong for feeling the opposite way, but something about that, I don't feel like I wouldn't have that same level of like entitlement, if that makes sense.
But that's why my point is, then why don't men go after other women with money? Like that, I feel like that's such an obvious argument. Like for me, it's kind of frustrating because like as a man, you're gonna complain about that, but then why not go get you a girl who's on your level, who built like, I mean, even in, I'm sure even in those
did you hear what I
circumstances.
just? I don't know what you're arguing against.
No, I'm not arguing about you. I'm talking about just men in general, but with that mindset. I know you're speaking hypothetically. I'm just talking about men in general.
No, but I'm saying about men getting with women with money, like the opposite of it, because we always.
Well, that's happened a lot of times. Nikki and her husband is an example. I don't know if that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that guy got money. He got that girl. Like, remember it was like a couple carats. I think it might have been in double digits. Remember that people were talking because she brought him that land. Mm-hmm. And then everybody's like, what did he buy? And then he brought her like, what was it, like $20 million ring or something crazy. So I don't know. Maybe they're not a good example. But I guess Nikki and her husband are a good example. Do you think Nikki pays the mortgage and all that? Definitely. And she complaining about it? I don't know her private life, but I'm sure she's not. Like I just feel like for some people they don't care about money that way. They love somebody, they're gonna take care of them. That's how they view their family and who they love and who they decide they marry and have kids with. You know, everybody is different. And that's what prenups are for. But at the end of the day, protect your money and if anything goes wrong, of course. But if you're loving somebody in a relationship with somebody, why would you want them to be out here literally grinding to keep up with the lifestyle that you want for us to have? No. You want us in this $20 million house. Now I got to pay half of it. And when you know I don't make that much money, that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, this conversation didn't go the way I thought it was or wanted it to go because I was just trying to discuss because I'm not rich. I'm not wealthy. I can't even put myself in that mind state. So I was using this conversation more as a general about finances in general because I don't relate to having $100 million contract for the NFL. I don't relate to that. But I was saying more. I wanted to more specifically say on like the 50-50 argument. Yeah. But it's interesting. One thing that I would want to know is what is the, if any, if any, is the amount of money where, right, like let's say me and you are in a relationship, which we're not.
What are you talking about? So
kidding,
annoying.
Joking. Like say, let's use an example. Let's say you come up on like 8 billion, right?
That would never happen, but okay.
If we're in a relationship, is there, and we're both madly in love with each other, is there a number?
Don't say that.
Is there a number that, in terms of finances, where there's a cutoff, if that makes sense? Like where, because you're saying like if we both live in this $20 million mansion, you should want to share it. Is there an amount of wealth or riches where that love can only get you so far? Like let's say Jeff Bezos, for example, how he had 200 or whatever, or had 200 whatever, and they, you know, what's her name, Kenzie? Is that her?
Yeah, I think so.
Something, whatever her name is. She took half, right? Let's say they were like super and deep in love with each other, do you think that he would have willingly gave her half? So what I'm basically trying to ask, like, is there a limit to how much someone in love is willing to give?
Give half when
they got divorced?
No, because clearly they got.
No, I know that. I know that, but I'm using it as an example. I'm saying like we use somebody else. There's no rule.
I'm just confused by the question.
I'm saying, is there a cap on how much money someone is willing to give someone else to the point where love doesn't facilitate that, right? So like, let's say you have $100 million. It's nothing to give somebody you love $1 million, but is that love gonna make it so that person gives you 90 million? And I'm saying do you think
No,
that
I'm
there's
not, I'm not giving anybody I love money. I'll take care of them. But I'm not giving you money.
okay, even that.
That's it. I'll just take care of whatever needs to be taken care of.
Right. So I'm saying, is there
If
a
we
cap?
go out to the mall, bring up what you want, I'll check out for you. There's no cap. I feel like I'll just pay for it. I'll just pay for you.
So you're down to pay down to
Well, not down to the last dollar, no, but maybe 45%. 45% of my money. Not half. A little less than half.
okay. So you're willing to pay the divorce rate, basically.
Yeah, but I would sign a prenup.
Gotcha.
Because you don't know. You see Amber Heard situation. People are crazy and they'll be plotting.
That's the thing. Oh, that's the actually brought up the point that I wanted to bring up. I think it's so crazy because like, and it's not crazy like in the sense that it's like so outlandish or like that it doesn't make sense, because it makes plenty of sense, but it's just very intriguing to think about like how much of people being with each other is because that they truly love everything about the person versus things like how the other person, like the person wants to stay with you due to things like your potential and like career and things like that, because that's like obviously a huge factor. Because if somebody's strung out on drugs, you in your mind, you're not going to think that they have much of a potential in the future. But like, you know, it's just interesting to think about why the person is still there. And how much of a role does the potential that they think you have or the money that you have, how much of a role does that play in them staying with you, even if they do love you as a person? How much?
Obviously, I think that's obvious that it plays a role.
No, I know that, but I said how much of a role? Like, let's say
Probably half.
like let's say you and me, for example, right? You would agree that my trajectory is part of the reason why we're together, correct?
No, Alex, I met you in college.
No, I know that, but
And all this stuff.
I don't think that's crazy.
No,
right?
but listen here, real quick. All the crazy stuff that happened in our relationship happened in school. We've had no major arguments since 2018. Like, so what would I possibly like? Like, if I wanted to leave you, I would have been left you while you were still in college. But there was no clear trajectory. We didn't have no crazy jobs out of college. Nothing like big.
I don't know. I'm not like, I don't think that that's
I
a crazy
swear to God, I
statement.
swear on my life, I swear on everybody I love's life. That's literally not even a factor at all. Like, is it something that is I love about us that we're a power couple? Of course, but it's not a factor.
I disagree. I feel like that can't be because.
But how? Because I'm not even trying to sound cocky about myself, but I feel like I could go get anybody that's on a similar trajectory or way better.
Right, but the thing is,
Not even like trying to pat myself up, but just men will bag anybody. Honestly, some of these men.
but for me, I'm saying that has to play a factor, right? Because
I swear to
let's say if you were just a bum, then obviously that would play a huge factor.
But like I said, I would have been broke up with you then if that's really a factor. Like freshman year, sophomore year, when we were just students, we didn't even have a declared major, and I could have left you back then. But no, it was because our love. I swear. Okay, see,
no, I'm
this generation got everybody messed up.
No, but
that is not that you don't believe me.
no, I'm not saying I don't believe you, but I'm saying that it has to, because if I just, especially the way you talk shit about certain people, if I was that person, then I would just naturally just assume that.
But babe, you're not that person. That's why.
I know, but
you don't fall into that category.
I don't fall into that category, but that's what you like. You like that I don't fall into that category. And you can't tell me opposite, because that doesn't make sense. Because let's say...
Because we came up together. It's different when you come up with somebody than if I would have came along.
But that's trajectory, right? Let's say your trajectory was still going up and mine was going straight. And I don't think this is a crazy thing.
No.
Okay, well, you can stand on it yourself. I'll stand on it.
No, listen here. You're getting him in there.
How?
Because you're trying to make it sound like I'm only with you because you're a potential.
No, but you could take yourself out of it. Then I'll speak for myself.
No, I'll keep myself in it.
I'm using myself 100%. If there was no trajectory upwards, then yeah,
for
I would.
Me?
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. Like if you were strung out on drugs in college, why would I be with you?
You're saying that like I was.
No, I said
if.
Yeah, I said if, or if we were just being a failure, you was out doing like crazy stuff, like.
But freshman year, we were both kind of bad. We didn't do good with our grades freshman year.
I didn't do great first semester.
saying.
But if you want to say that, like, yeah, if you could have just,
Well,
we
yes,
weren't even
okay.
dating at that point.
I guess maybe because spring semester, both of us saw the bounce back. So in our minds, we knew, okay, this is not no bum compared to some of our other friends that we had at the time that you could tell weren't on the downward trajectory.
Let's be honest. I almost got kicked out freshman year, first semester, off the rip, right?
And I got C's for attendance.
Right.
Literally, I dropped letter grade just for not showing up to class.
If I got kicked out of Montclair,
We just wouldn't. I mean, I still would have kept in contact with you, but I'm sure it would have just dwindled. Okay.
No, you wouldn't.
No, see, ooh, I didn't hit him.
All right. All right.
See, no, because
why are you putting your hands on me?
Because you're trying to lie.
Amber.
No, because
we are not joking about domestic abuse.
No, listen. I would have still been desperate to stay in contact with you. Can you imagine back then? You were my first love. Like, you are my first love. I haven't been in a relationship with nobody else. No, but for real, I would have been desperate to cling on to that relationship. We would have did long distance. You would have came up to school. I swear we would have made it work. I think we would.
You didn't care that much after 3 months.
I did. That's why I was crying. January, you had the pictures in my dorm room of me crying. Remember when I was my face was all worn out because we got in that big fight? Like, yeah, that was 4 months. That's what I know you.
I was
crying.
February, no?
That was January. Remember that walk when you first told me you loved me? We was crying. I
wasn't crying.
I was crying.
Yeah, you were crying.
Yeah, because I was in love. And that was in
But that's not why you were crying.
November, December.
You were crying about something completely irrelevant.
I don't remember what I was crying
about. You were crying about, you were like, how people, it was something about crying about people don't like you or something like that.
Oh, well.
It was something about,
I don't care about people.
It was something about personal things, like you not feeling the same way about people, or people don't treat you the way you treat them, or something like that.
Aw, see, that's what I mean. But still, I showed you that vulnerability.
Listen, I don't think that comment is crazy. If you don't see somebody doing better for themselves,
yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
That's all I'm saying.
I think for some people though, some people have bum boyfriends, baby dads, whatever, and they still say, because that's just low self-esteem. No, that's not shout out to them. But a lot of them they have low self-esteem. They feel like they're not gonna find anybody else, so they hold on.
So how much of a factor does trajectory play in? And you can make it specific to me or not make it specific to me. How much of a factor does that play in your decision to remain with someone?
Like 30%.
Damn, I'm sick.
Like I have like a 30-30-10. Well, 30 40.
Yeah, where's the rest of the percentage at?
40 plus 30 plus 30 is 100, right? Yeah, 40, 30, 30. 40 has to be love. It has to be love and friendship and respect and all that stuff that comes with.
Look, that's love.
And enjoyment and all that. 30% has to be, yeah, you're not a bum. Because at the end of the day, yeah, of course, at the end of the day, you want, like, humans are all about survival of the fittest, all that. A part of survival in this world is money. So, of course, you want your partner to be a hustler like you, so you guys could be a power couple and get a lot of money, and your kids are good, and then all generations follow are good, as long as they're not bums and could withhold what we started, right? And then the other 30% for me would probably be, what's another 30% that's important in our relationships? Maybe just like how you
money.
No, like how you were raised and your family history and all that, because that's important.
Very important.
How you raise, family history, your morals, how you plan to raise kids, all that stuff. So 40 is love, respect, compatibility, friendship, all that. Other 30 is how you were raised, your family history, your morals. The other 30 is your trajectory and your goals in life.
Yeah, I'm not going to break down my percentages, but I'll just say that trajectory is definitely important to me. And the only reason why is because I never want to feel like I'm the...
like what's keeping everything afloat.
Yeah, that definitely. But also I don't want to be in a space with... a bum. Yeah, like someone that's not like energized or like excited about anything, or like no hobbies or just no real focus on anything. Because then if that's the case, for one, that's a negative influence on me. And for two, I don't want to sit there and watch that. Like I want to watch somebody that's like, I'd rather somebody be working hard
and not paying me any attention in our relationship than to be with somebody that's paying me all the attention in the world and is not doing anything.
Yeah. And a lot of girls are like that. When they get into relationships, they just become
just sedentary.
dormant.
You're like a rock.
Yeah, and then they use that as an excuse, like, oh, he was holding me back. No, you was holding yourself back. I mean, I guess some men do hold their girls back though, right? Like some men, they'll be like, don't go to work, or if you're a rapper, don't go to the studio, stay here.
Yeah, don't go with your friends.
Yeah, don't do nothing.
Keep you in a box because they're insecure. That definitely is a thing.
That definitely is a thing. But then as a woman,
I think they like that.
The girls.
I think they like that.
Like, oh my man's making me stay in. No one can make you do nothing.
Because that to them is like
love.
A sign of caring.
Yeah. Like, oh, he cares. He doesn't want me to be out with my friends. And then they start getting brainwashed thinking that their friends are the problem, which sometimes they are. Sometimes they definitely are.
The hating friends are definitely a problem.
But lots of times, there are a lot of men out here who just, I won't even say the potential. Don't you hate how they try to make it seem like men are narcissists and they're plotting? Like, I don't think any of that stuff is really intentional. I think they're just projecting their own insecurities, and then that stuff in effect, has effects on the relationship and on you. But I don't think anybody's sitting there plotting with a book thinking about how they're going to brainwash you and manipulate you. I don't think it's like people swear they're so important that somebody's doing that.
Yeah, honestly, I think that women even give, and I'm going to generalize men here, so I think women give too much credence to what men do, where they think that men can be manipulative, right?
Yeah.
But it's not always to the point. I'm different, right? Like, I'm a little bit, I'm like purposefully manipulative, not with you anymore, but definitely at some point.
Yeah.
Purposefully manipulative to make you feel a certain way, all that kind of stuff. Definitely don't do it anymore because I'm an old soul, so I don't got time for all that. But I think that women give too much credence to men thinking that they're sitting there like, I'm gonna do this, and then she's gonna do that.
They have a whole plot. Like, people swear people are plotting on you. You're not that important.
And
Nobody's
some people
plotting
do,
on you.
Most guys are doing that.
It's just that they were just raised poorly. Like, no one has any compassion for anything anymore. Like, some people were just raised really bad, and they're the way they are because they're a byproduct of their environment. Like, maybe you guys should go to therapy together instead of you sitting there thinking he's plotting on you because of your own issues.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do 50-50 if you want.
And this is what I was going to add about this topic. But this is what she even responded.
Not sure where y'all got this nonsense from, but it's absurd and very false.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she confirmed that it was false.
Yeah. So that is that.
Yeah. And people need to stop waiting. People love when a high profile relationship or just any relationship has any type of something they could talk about it, because here comes everybody out the woodwork and paragraphs and paragraphs.
Yeah, see,
I knew it. Something had to be wrong because interracial. It's just like, you guys are all so miserable. Like, please get help, please. We'll put a number in the bio for mental health, like the hotline, some therapy contacts, something, because people are just really crazy out here. Like,
yeah,
can't wait for some relationship to have some issues to talk about.
Yeah.